Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you. June the 22nd, the year's 2021. It's Tuesday. Let's talk trading. Your thoughts when in a trade. Just remember your first thought while watching this video is that it's for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Yesterday, I talked about thoughts when entering a trade. What happens right when you enter, or right after you enter? Now you're in the trade. Well, price is going to do one of two things. It's either going to move in your direction or it's going to move against you. Now, that's only part of it. The other thing is, how fast does it move? I mean, how many times have you entered a trade and all of a sudden, instead of being down by just the spread or just the commission, you're down by that plus 2, 3, 4, 5 pips. I mean, as soon as you entered a trade, it's almost like they were waiting for you to do something, and then you got nailed. I'm sure that's happened to you at least once. I know it's happened to me, at least a handful of times. But what are your thoughts? Get out? Stick with the plan? You get upset if it moves against you? What happens if it moves your way? Do you punch out immediately thinking price could reverse? Do you wonder what's going on? You need to know what your thoughts are so that way you can control your emotions, because it gets back down to that brain management. I mean, when you really think about it, when to enter a trade, it's a mouse click, to exit, it's a mouse click. And in between those two mouse clicks, it's a lot of waiting. And the only thing you can do really is manage your emotions. Because when you enter that trade, now you're in the trade. If you're thinking about anything other than sticking to your plan, you have to wonder why you're thinking that in the first place. Now, once again, you can either trade like the market structure guys do and immediately put on your TP and your stop loss, or you can trade in the moment where you have your stop loss set, and then as price moves in your favor, you decide tick by tick whether to take your profit off the table or scratch the trade or exit, because it looks like it's going to hit your stop loss, and why give up another pip or two if you don't have to? So you need to pay attention to your thoughts while you're in a trade, because you could be up, say, 4 or 5 pips, and once again it starts going the other direction, and you're basically giving pips back, and then you might get mad, and then the next thing you know, you've given back all the pips and you're actually down in a trade. Then you get mad at yourself, you get mad at the market. Once again, it just really gets back to the old brain management that we talk about a lot. And so if you're second guessing yourself as opposed to just following your plan, you really have to think about it. You really have to decide, what do you want to do? So, for example, if you're looking at the monthly chart here, and are going to, maybe you trade off the monthly chart. Why not, right? You can maybe make some big pips. Point being is, if you're going to trade off of the monthly chart, you're probably going to say, okay, well, if it moves this much against me, I'm going to exit. And if it moves this much in my favor, I'm going to take profit. And chances are you're not going to want to day trade off a monthly chart. You can't really see what price is doing. You have to look at the numbers. And maybe on the weekly chart, you plan things out. You look at the end of the week on Saturday, maybe when the market's closed, and you plan out your trade for next week. You say, okay, I'm going to enter here. I'm going to exit here with a profit or there with a loss. maybe you're trading a gap fills, and it's just like maybe sometimes you get big pips, sometimes you get little, and you just take what you get. Maybe you're going for the pivot, which would have paid off this particular week and most weeks. Every now and then you'll see one that didn't pay off. In fact, there's one right there that, let's see, did that one pay off? 37.82, 37.85. Nope, missed it by 3 pips. So let's say you were in this trade and you were targeting that pivot and it went within 3 pips and started backing up. How much do you give back? Wherever your stop is, right? Or did you take the pips off? See, when you're in a trade, you can start to deviate from your plan. It's real easy because you see profit, then you see that profit start to go down. So easy to deviate from your plan. And sometimes you'll take what money you can and you're happy because the price kept going against your position. Other times you kick yourself because you'll do the, well, I could have had. So, and what happens is you put yourself into almost a no-win situation when you do that, because there's a chance no matter which way you, whether or not you exit, the price could go in your favor or it could go against you and you won't be happy with that result. So, and being happy, that's an emotion. And if you let that dictate your trading, then you're not going to get the full benefit of your trades because you're managing your emotions rather than managing the trade. So you have to manage your emotions so you can manage the trade. But if you let the market, what the market's doing, dictate or influence your emotions, that's when it's so easy to go on tilt and just really make a mess of things. So if you pick something simple to trade, such as horizontal lines, then you might still get on that emotional roller coaster, but once you get in that trade, you say, well, if it crosses this horizontal line, I'll exit, and if it crosses this other one, I'll either move my stop up to protect most of the profit, or I'll just exit out. You have to decide that really ahead of time. And that gets back to the exit playbook. And for those of you who don't know what the exit playbook is, I've done a few videos on that. In fact, I've done, I don't know how many thousands of videos now. So sometimes when people go, you need to do a video on this, chances are if you search my channel, you'll probably find at least one video on just about every topic. And if not, once again, please feel free to ask. And if it's in my wheelhouse, I will make a video on that topic. Or maybe even if it isn't, we can always explore it. But as you can see here, yesterday put in a huge opening range for the week, and we haven't broken out of it. And it looks like with about, what, 6 hours left in the trading day, we may not break out of yesterday's bar. So that would mean today's bar might be an inside bar. So for the year, 275 pips above that yearly open. For the month, 288 below it. For the week, up 116 pips weekly open. For the day, down 17. Not near those inside bars yet. Range 76 pips, only one pair over 100. I guess after yesterday's move, things have the dust is kind of settled right now. As you can see, we took out today's pivot point. So pivot faders, once again, were paid off. Rats, range is large enough. Lower rat zone, still within that monthly low. And it looks like the green rats have feasted. Once again, we took out that pivot. So we have an overlapping HV, high value, so it's moderately bullish. So back to the daily. See, we've got one missed pivot here. For the month of June. The first missed pivot is the month of April for the week. Whoops. And for the month, we haven't missed one since November 2014. Oh, yesterday, I guess I got to talking and I ran out of time. And I forget who likes to always keep score when that happens. You can see in and out of that upper wick zone. The wall mall lines look like we already had a last hour. There was I can't tell because we just started the new hour. So let's see what happened last hour. Price opened here, crossed the double low, and you maybe could have banked 20 pips. That was the potential. Right now, long triggers 20, short triggers 10. Once again, looking at the wall mall lines, but the previous H1 high looks like 19.5. So a slightly early trigger there if you want to take that long. Here in the rat wick zone, you can see we're in the upper wick zone and in the red rat zone. So you'd be looking for a short opportunity here. And with the lower high, higher low, here on the M1, you can see where the short would be 39.17 coming off of a 2-ball. But when you look at the multimeter, you can see H4 green, H1 is green. So you might be careful, as always, when entering a trade. So that wraps up today. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you something to think about. You know, watching, recording your own thoughts when you're in a trade, because you might find out there's one thought that's causing you to lose. So remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne over.